We have another big week in the world of Microsoft Flight Simulator. We finally have some new aircraft releases this week, and we cover some new awesome airport releases as well, including this week's sim update news. So let's jump into the video. Kicking off this week's previews and announcements, DC Designs mentioned not so long ago they have a couple of aircraft that they've been developing in secret, and they'll release more news when they come closer to their completion. The team announced this week that one of those aircraft is a Sukhoi Su-27. DC Designs didn't mention the date when we'll see the release, but due to a few things that need to be finished on the aircraft and also the Microsoft Flight Simulator backlog list. The external modeling, the flight modeling, the animations, and most of the other data is already in place and ready to go. Just a few weeks need to be worked on for the virtual cockpit. DC Designs is planning on releasing the Su-27 in one variant that will include several liveries. This Su-27 will be one of the first in a series of DC Designs in-sim marketplace only aircraft that will be released in the future. The team also mentioned they are currently working on updating some of their other aircraft, such as the Concorde, the Typhoon, the F-15 and the F-16 as well. And of course, we will keep you posted when we hear more news about their upcoming release of the Sukhoi Su-27 and other aircraft releases. In a quick update from Bluebird Simulations, this is the team that's in development with the Boeing 757. The team were planning on releasing the 757 this year, however they pushed it back so they can focus on developing a more detailed aircraft. This week the team did a quick update over on their Facebook page, and they've currently been working on mapping out circuits for the Boeing 757. Currently 414 circuits have been mapped out and the rest is to be completed soon. The team mentions not all the 500 circuits will be completed in the initial release. Circuits such as the lavatory or the PAX oxygen deployment won't be mapped as they're not going to be modeled with the release. There will be a lot of working circuits with the release, and the team will be mapping circuits over the next several months. Bluebird's Boeing 757 is due to release next year, and we'll keep following the progress as they release more. Thank you to Simbit World Pilots Life Chapter 2 for sponsoring this video. A Pilot's Life Chapter 2 simulates the career of a commercial airline pilot by generating your schedules, tracking your scores for your flights, and rewarding weekly according to your contract type and much more. Pilot's Life provides a reason to fly in the sim from A to B while improving your skills as an airliner pilot, and depending on how good your scores are, you can progress throughout your airliner career to higher tier airliners and purchase more aircraft license. With over 575 airliners and over 280,000 real up-to-date routes, each flight and contract will have you experience the virtual airliner career globally, living a pilot's life. A pilot's life will work across all types of flight sim platforms, including a Microsoft Flight Simulator, X-Plane, P3D, and even FSX. Links in the description are where you can pick up your copy of Pilot's Life, and we thank them for sponsoring this video. The most anticipated update of any aircraft is the PMDG EFB. This feature update has more airtime than the actual release of the 737 from PMDG. That being said, we will keep talking about it until it's been released. This week we've been treated with a sneak peek of the actual EFB itself with some performance data. The PMDG team announced last week they have an internal release date for this fully featured Casio calculator. Sorry, I meant the EFB, and this will be made available with the next 37 update. In the meantime, we will just have to put up with this teaser screenshot of the PMDG EFB. If you are enjoying our content, please bosh that like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't. We are currently on the road to 100,000 subscribers here on the channel, and we would love to have you on board when we finally achieve that milestone. Thank you very much for your support. Orbex has announced its next upcoming release, and this product is aimed at bush pilots. PNG Highlander Bush Trip Pack 1 for Microsoft Flight Simulator. The team mentions this package is designed to offer an unparalleled bush flying experience. The pack plans to include 3 airstrips that serve as lifelines to remote villages in the PNG. These strips in the real world have sometimes been carved out by the locals with some of the most challenging approaches in the world. The pack includes custom 3D vegetation, PBR textures, and over 100 custom built and hand placed models and objects. This will be a first of the series focused on the region from Orbex. This release is the first of a series which will be focused for the region by Orbex, and the Orbex Bush Trip Pack 1 for Microsoft Flight Simulator is scheduled to be released on the 26th of October. AnyBuilds have released their next airport, which is Palm Springs Airport. The airport was announced via the team this week and is scheduled to release this Friday, the 20th of October. If it hasn't released by the time you watch this video, you won't have to wait too long. Palm Springs International Airport covers 940 acres with 2 runways, and it's located about 2 miles east of downtown Palm Springs. The airport serves close to 3 million passengers a year up to 2022 data, and it's used by all major US carriers and some international flights from WestJet and Air Canada as well. Features included with the release is handcrafted ground poly textures with bespoke texture sets for the runway, the apron, the paths, and the roads, true-to-life landside recreation, and custom ground decals, signpost, and vegetation, dynamic lighting for the airport, highly detailed models of all the airport buildings, objects, and surroundings, up-to-date layout of the airport. The airport comes with a GSX profile included, and as always, it comes with the AnyBuilds AnyManager capability, which allows you to configure the scenery that works with your system. You can pick up your copy of the AnyBuilds Palm Springs directly from the AnyBuilds store. I'll leave a link in the description below. In another airport release, this one being a little closer to home, Tails Models, hopefully I said that correctly, have released the Cairns Airport for Microsoft Flight Simulator. This airport is located northeast of the country and it's home to the Great Barrier Reef and 2.3 miles from the city centre of Cairns. The airport serves an average of 10 international flights and 35 domestic flights around the globe. Features include with the release is handmade detailed PBR ground markings and texture according to the most recent airport situation, custom built realistic terminals, cargo buildings and airport buildings, custom jetways, taxiways and aprons, optimized for performance to work with most types of systems. You can pick up your copy of Cairns Airport from Tails Models, hopefully I said that correctly again, directly from the SimMug store, links below. Latin VFR have announced they are introducing 2 new Airbuses to the Microsoft Flight Simulator fleet. These Airbuses include an A330neo and an A340. The A330 was the first one released today over on the InSim marketplace. Features include a custom systems for the Airbus A330neo, highly detailed external and internal models with high definition textures. The cabin interior has been modeled as well, including a business class, premium economy and economy. There is 42 custom liveries from real-world airliners. VNAV has been implemented into the aircraft. The A330 has its own EFB, which you can grab the weather, also load the aircraft. It has SimBrief and Navigraph chart implementation, as well as it comes with realistic sounds. When it comes to previous releases by Latin VFR, they've basically been positioned for the undemanding flyer and probably a little bit basic for people that are looking for something for realism. That being said, you can pick up your copy of Latin's VFR Airbus A330 directly from the InSim marketplace. In some other flight sim news, which is not Microsoft Flight Simulator related, we did mention this in last week's video, but Airport Sim has been released. This sim has been released on Steam initially, and eventually it will make its way over to Xbox Series X and S. If you're unfamiliar with Airport Sim, this sim allows you to take on the role as a ground crew at an airport and complete the necessary tasks to deboard and onboard a airliner. There is different game modes available, such as scenario, free-to-play, and co-op multiplayer. There is operations for 4 airports with the first release, which is Warsaw, Keflavik, Vega, and Key West. You can manage up to 15 different vehicles along with the Airbus A320neo and the 737 MAX aircraft to onboard and deboard. Airport Sim has been in development for some time now, which has been supported by MK Studios, and they have been developing airports in the flight sim industry for many years. Airport Sim will definitely let you live out the day-to-day of what happens behind the scenes to get an airliner ready to turn around for its next flight. You can pick up your copy of Airport Sim over at Steam. I'll leave a link in the description below. Moving over to this week's sim update news, the Microsoft team have updated some of their local legend aircraft, one being the Dornier DO-X and the other one is a Laika Crow, hopefully I said that correctly, 631. Moving on to world updates, World Update 15 is still scheduled for a release on the 31st of October, which includes the Nordics and Greenland regions. In addition to this world update, We will see updates to the Canadian cities and World Update 11 updates basically being fixed by the Gaia development team, fixing the problems we've seen in past World Updates. The Scenery Gateway system is still scheduled to release with this World Update number 15, but don't hold your breath as we've seen many delays with this new feature. And when we take a look at this week's updated wish list, the team mentions that the Scenery Gateway tool in the wish list is only just about to start its alpha. So we'll just call this a work in progress at this stage. This week, we were treated with another active development update, bug, and feedback wish list. It's great to see that the Microsoft team is back with new weekly updates when it comes with these. We went through this in more detail in last week's video, however, there is little change this week. That being said, we will check these each week and cover any significant changes and highlights. Feel free to pause the video if you'd like to check out them for yourself. Other than that, I will leave a link in the description where you can check out the blog from Microsoft team this week. In this week's Microsoft Flight Simulator backlog list, we've seen significant improvements, dropping from 401 from last week to 363 this week. Aircraft have increased by 4. That being said, we've seen aircraft release this week with movements from last week's functional testing. The bulk of the increases when it comes to aircraft are new submissions. Missions have dropped by 1, sceneries have dropped by 11, liveries have dropped by 1, and airports have dropped by 13, and the other section, which is made up of all sorts of stuff, has dropped by 16. Moving on to this week's InSim Marketplace releases, we've seen 99 new releases. Holy dooly, we haven't seen that for a while. 5 new aircraft, one of them being the Latin VFR Airbus A330, which we mentioned before in the video. Other than that, we've seen the F4F-4 Wildcat from Got Friends, which was released on PC just a few short weeks ago. The other aircraft releases are the J20, the MiG-29 from MS Sceneries, and also the Santos Dumont 14 BIS, hopefully I said that correctly, from Gear Down Simulations. As a reminder, do your own homework before purchasing things on the InSim Marketplace. Just because it's on the marketplace doesn't mean it's going to meet the expectations you were expecting with your purchase. The other releases included on this week's InSim Marketplace releases is 9 livery packs. Most of these are Captain Sim products, 9 environmental packs, 3 excursion packs, 9 sceneries, and landmark packs. Most of these are which are night lining enhancements. And as always, a bunch of airports, which we saw 15 of those this week. Thank you for your support. If you haven't, please bosh the like button if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe if you haven't. Help us hit that 100k mark. We'd love to have you on board. We also stream at least 3 times a week. I'll leave details in the description below where you can find one of our multiplayer streams and come and fly along with us. And we will see you on another video sometime soon.